December the 3rd and time to open another advent window. So where is the 3? Oh, it's down at the bottom here. So let's get here. It's a flap down there. So run my fingernails across there and down there, along there. If I can get it. Oh, they're not easy. Oh, look at this. A tomato pincushion. Oh, look at that. A tomato pincushion. Let's open it up and see what it's like. Well, I never had a tomato pincushion with a little bit on there. I'm not quite sure what the purpose is of that, of the acorny type thing. Someone on YouTube might be able to tell me why that's there. Am I supposed to hang it between my fingers or what? But that's a little pincushion. A little tomato pincushion. Wow. I wonder if there's a way that you could hang that somewhere so that I don't know. Not sure. Unless that's just so you can grab a hold of it. I don't know. Excellent. Not that I haven't got lots of pincushions, of course, because as you know, I've got that one. And I've got that one. And that's before I've even got all my magnetic ones. So, excellent. It's really hard though. Very hard. Those are quite soft to touch. But this is really, really hard. Strange. Isn't that nice though? Well, that's the pincushion. Now then, let's go and look at the women's gadgets and see what's in there. Well, here's the women's gadgets, and number 3 is up here. A long one. Let's try and break it open. Oh, it's not easy. Oh, it's a nail file. Oh, a nail file. A square nail file, and it's rough on both sides. Usually you get rough on one side and smooth on the other, but it's a little nail file. Well, I can't complain about that. That will be really handy because I'm starting to get, despite everything that you've all recommended me, I'm starting to get the little cut on my thumb, and what I sometimes do is rub it down because it goes really hard on each side of the cut. And I'm wearing rubber gloves, I'm doing everything, I'm putting lots of cream on, I'm using all the recommended creams that you lot give me. But, sorry, I was looking at, it's blue in the middle. I thought maybe you could do it along the side, but you can't. So, yeah, that's going to work well for this flipping sore thumb. Well, it's not sore, it's not hurting yet. I've run out of elastoplasts and I need to get some finger, just remembered, I must get some of those little finger things because they are probably the best thing that'll work. But there, day 3 is a nail file. So I've got a nail file and a pincushion. It's an icy morning. He's got to get the ice off the windscreen first before. What's that face for?
Yeah, another gadget.
I've had this gadget for over a year to go with me to Amber.
First time I've seen it.
Do you know he doesn't notice anything?
No, it's
I'll put a dress on that I've worn about 5 times and he'll say that's a new dress. And I'll say I've had it ages.
That's because you put it on back to front occasionally.
It's a frosty day. And we're off to work. Well, this is in the opposite direction to yesterday. La 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 la. Do 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 do. Here comes Santa Claus, here comes Santa Claus, it's Christmas time.
That song you can really, you can't see it at the beginning of December
Why?
because it isn't coming.
He isn't coming, no, he's coming soon, no.
Yeah, but not now.
He's
So
coming
you
soon.
can't sing Here Comes Santa Claus now. He's coming. He's busy. He's wrapping presents.
He's
Or
wrapping
at
all the
least his
presents
own.
for the boys and girls, and the mummies and the daddies, and the aunties and uncles, the grannies and granddads.
You can actually only sing that on one day a year, which would be Christmas Eve. Because
You're on that white line again.
crispy. People in the pub already.
Cleaners. This is an old pub, and the right side of it burnt down, and they've had to rebuild it. Oh, they've got teepees in the field. They're going to have a wedding. When we got into work, we found out that the heating had been hadn't switched itself on, and it had been off for 4 days, and it was bitterly cold. So we decided we had to keep our coats on. In fact, his lordship kept his coat on more than I did. And here we are preparing the work. We can't believe how many people want trophies at Christmas time. The boxes on the right hand side are boxes that are for trophies, full of trophies, and they're going out today, and by the end of the day there'll be a lot more. The desk in front of you is Debbie's desk, but Debbie doesn't come in on a Tuesday. She comes in tomorrow, and we are busy prepping all the plates and trophies for her to assemble. I'm speeding this up, but this is where we heat press the plates that are going to go into the trophies, and I trim them and cut them. It's usually me that does them because I can work faster than anyone else can, and I think my eyesight's probably the best of all of us. But it involves a lot of working with the trophies involves a lot of pulling and touching and taking paper off the back, and it's the constant toing and froing of doing that makes me get the cuts on my thumb. It's just the joys of the job that we do, and I've just got to put up with it. But anyway, I'm speeded this up because I'm sure you don't want to watch me cutting plates all the time, but I trim them all down, and I do stamp them quite hard when I'm trimming them down, and one of these days I might just chop my finger off at the same time. I have lopped a bit of the corner of my finger off, but it's a bit like my father. You can't teach someone, well, it's not so much that, it's just that I'm my father's daughter. So here I am, I've got the plaques, and I've got to start putting centers onto them, and then I've got to start putting plates on. So I have to peel the paper off the back and then stick the plates on. It's all peeling, sticking, peeling, sticking. And here I'm prepping some plaques that are for a local customer who has sent me an email requesting certain ones, and I'm having to look on my phone because he sent them to me while I was off at the weekend. He runs sporting clubs after school and he wanted some plaques, and I just wanted to check on my phone to make sure I knew exactly what he wanted. But I had to wade through hundreds of emails to find his, and he only sent it 24 hours ago. So it just shows you how many emails I get throughout the day. He just wants a football trophy, he doesn't want any medals to go with the birthday party. And the day's orders are done, and here they are. These are all what His Lordship and I have been doing in the day. They're waiting for the courier to come and take them away. There is a bit of a mess on the floor, but that all gets cleared up once the courier has gone off with the boxes. Well, we haven't put our Christmas decorations up yet, but the other day I came across this and I just had to have it. It's a little telephone box and it's got a little snowman in, and when you switch it on, the glitter goes round and round. Isn't that lovely? And it's right next, just so that I can show you my mantelpiece. Mum-in-law got me this from Spain a few years ago. This is a glass vase that we got in France. It looks absolutely nothing, but it was quite a lot of money. My brother-in-law, who's French, took us to visit a friend of his who made glass, and that was what he made. And these little 3 acorns are what my brother-in-law made. Bless him, he's now died. He died of lung cancer, despite the fact that he never smoked, but he worked with wood. And these are 3 little acorns that he made. I've got them on wire, and the nice thing is they actually open. I'll have to open in a minute and show you what it's like. I think there's a little note inside one of them. I'll switch this off and then I'll show you in a second. It's the biggest one, the biggest of the 3. The actual acorn part comes out and there's a little note in. It's a little post-it note that they actually got these post-it notes for my sister for Christmas one time, and they had a dog, and that was her granddaughter. That was Danielle, who died. That's my sister, and that was the grandson. And they had Putty the dog, the Vietnamese pig, pot-bellied pig. He's on him and my sister are on one of the videos that I put up when I went to France. And sadly, as I say, Danielle died. The 2 little grandchildren, they only had one daughter, and she was killed in a car crash. And so they have the 2 grandchildren that were very close to them. But in here, the actual thing names them, and it says, I love my, and then it says little darlings. And he says, Happy New Year 2009. These are I'm going to read over the camera because I can't read it. The acorns are fruit symbols of force that we have all need for in life. And then he says, big kisses, Danielle and Jackie, and he's got little mice along the bottom. And I actually have some little mice that he made in wood as well. And so this is like a little keepsake that I love. I just love them. And then going along to this right is a clock that we bought, and I love it. I think of it as like it's made of pottery. The only thing I don't like is the fact that you can't really see the pointers, and it's not actually at the right time either, because that says 20 to 6 and I think it's only 5 o'clock. I never look at clocks. Being the daughter of a watchmaker, I never look at clocks. Then I've got this beautiful, this is my favourite scent, and this is by Oasis. My daughter gave me it last year, and it's geranium and tuberose. I have never smelled any room, whatever you call them, as lovely as this one. It just smells like there's a bouquet of flowers in the room. These are my Ikea chairs, And look who's sitting on top of them. He is a little teddy bear kit that I bought about 7 or 8 months ago, and the other day I decided I'd make him. Not a very good job. His little legs are jointed. He's a really tiny teddy bear, and I didn't think he would be as difficult to sew as it was. They told you to sew them up and then turn them inside out. Well, the things were so small you couldn't turn them inside out. So in some cases I sewed as best I could, and then I had to do some little sort of blanket stitch around the outside on them. His eyes are probably too far set back. I used to make lots of teddies years and years ago, but it's not, like I say, he's not exactly the best, but he's sitting on my little Ikea chairs. So he asked me what was the gadget that I got in the German advent calendar that was women's gadgets. And you're looking at it, very puzzled.
It's a woman's gadget.
It's a woman's gadget. No.
Oh. Oh, my watches.
His watch has dropped off.
Excitement. Okay.
Let me go over there so I can give you more room.
Well, it's clearly a woman's gadget.
Yeah.
Because I can't make head nor tail of it.
Here's a clue. She takes it out with her.
Does she?
She puts it in a handbag.
How does she? Oh, self-defense.
No.
Okay. Ah! Got it!
What?
Contraceptive!
No!
Oh.
Do you give in?
I give in.
Right. I'll show you.
What is it?
You put it on there.
Yeah.
Like that.
And it waggles.
And it waggles. And then the woman has a handbag. I haven't got a handbag here, so I'll hang this on it. The woman has a handbag and she hangs it like that. When she's having a coffee at the cafe, on the table, a coffee at the cafe, a coffee at the cafe, you know, when one is having a drink in the bar.
And you wondered why I wouldn't know what it is.
So it's a special thing that hangs your bag like that, you see, and then it stops it. If you
hang on.
If you spend hundreds of pounds on a designer bag, you don't want it touching the floor.
Hold it. That's actually very clever.
Of course it is.
Yeah. Do you know, I might even get a handbag.
I don't think so.
That's amazing.
So that's all it does, you see, it just hangs it up like that.
Okay, I concede that for handbag carriers, and I'm not wrong, for handbag carriers, that is a useful gadget.
It is a useful gadget. I used to see them and I used to think, should I buy one? But they always cost a few quid for those. But now I've got one. Not that I will ever use this, but you never know.
Anyway, important news.
Important news.
I'm putting the kettle on.
I heard it was boiling before. And while we've been talking, Luke is engraving I don't know if you can see it, it's a mirror compact, and I'm doing some a flower pattern on it. And the flower pattern that I'm doing on it is that one. And that's the pattern I'm doing on the front of this mirror compact. And it's been engraving this for the past probably half an hour. But the good thing is I just set it away and then off it goes. And I can go and potter and do something else. I've actually lost the actual, I bought that little pot, but I can't find where it's gone to. And then I came across this, which I bought years and years ago. This must be about 30 years old. No, maybe it's 20 years. And it's Thread Heaven. This is called Thread Magic, but this one's called Thread Heaven. And basically, I remember when I first started vlogging, I was saying about how my machine, the thread, started lifting. It would gets static, and the threads at the back of the machine here, when I was passing them like that to the side, you can just see it, they kind of get a bit of static there sometimes, and as I was going to the back they kept flying forward. Well, this isn't too bad because I've just been using this stuff. But basically what I've been doing here is with this Thread Heaven, and the Thread Magic is the same thing. You can either use this to condition your thread, or if I can get this open with one hand, which I can't, let me put this down a minute now. Oh, now look at this, look at this. 1 cup of coffee from the man who can. Thank you. He made one yesterday, and and half the coffee disappeared out the bottom of the cup because there was a crack in it.
1, 2 or 3?
1, please. You know I don't like chocolate biscuits very often. Right. Can't reach through. See you later. Bye. So basically, let me go back here to that and open this up first. It's like a waxy substance. There. It's a waxy substance, and basically you run your thread through it. If you're hand sewing, you run your thread through it. You can run it through to condition the thread, or you can use it when you're doing buttonholes because it strengthens the thread. But what I found is, if I run my finger, now I'm going to have to try and do this way. If I run my finger on there and rub it on a few times, and then rub that onto the back of there, you don't get much on. It's not very sticky. Or I suppose you could do it this way. You could get that like that and rub it on like that. There. Then when you put your thread there, it should actually, when you put your thread there and you put your thread down the back, because you put the Thread Magic there, that should stop the static. So it's a little tip. I knew about it, but I forgot about it. As I say, I used to use this. I also used to use this with when I rethreaded my pearls and beads. I sometimes used that if I didn't have beeswax. If I didn't have beeswax at hand. I think I tried this, but I preferred the beeswax at the end of the day for pearl restringing. And here is the mirror finally done with a pattern. I don't know if you can see it. It's not. This is night time and you can't really see it very well. But there are jungle leaves, there are flowers, some lovely patterns on there. Just adds a bit of dimension to the mirror compact. That's the mirror compact there. And it's at this point I'm going to say bye and catch you next time.